Okay, it should be obvious to most, I think, guys. Hybrid and electric vehicles have potentially lethally high voltages on multiple components in the vehicle. Do not, repeat, do not expose yourself to this risk if you're not appropriately qualified and protected with the proper PPE. That simple. So since I have the back seat of the car out here, guys, I thought I'd show you the installation. This is the high voltage battery. It's a nickel metal hydride battery, and it actually sits below the rear seat, bottom. The cushion is clearly removed. You can see the frame that actually surrounds it, and you can actually see over there is actually what the manual refers to as the auxiliary battery. So the car basically has a traction battery. This is obviously the large high voltage battery that provides the high voltage current and high voltage and high current in order to drive the traction motor, and of course receive current in order to recharge when it's in regeneration or clearly taking the charge from the motor generator. And you can look at the low voltage battery, which is just a 12 volt battery. It is quite a specialized little battery actually. It's a absorbent glass matte battery, very expensive for the size of the thing. But it is basically the control of the car. So when you first go to start the car, all the interlocks and all the safeties of course have to be met before the interlocks and the relays inside the can, which the battery is actually housed in there, will allow the high voltage to be applied to the rest of the vehicle. I'll give you an actual look at it while the cushion is removed for cleaning purposes, because it was unbelievably filthy dirty. The battery is actually air cooled. There you can see the blower assembly there after it's been thoroughly cleaned of masses of dog hair. The plastic shrouding is obviously removed from the skirting of the seat cushion, guys. There is an intake grill there, so the air clearly comes in. And let me take you around the other door. So yeah, there's the blower assembly. And you can see the ducting that actually works its way into the can of the battery. It's all baffled, of course. The air goes through the various cells and different structural components of the battery itself. And actually you can see the exhaust duct that actually makes its way out and is exhausted. So on the right hand side of the vehicle, guys, as I said, this is the AGM battery, the auxiliary battery. And this is the all critical component, which is the service grip. This plug can actually be pulled down, pulled straight up and removed in order to isolate the high voltage from the rest of the system. But of course you'd have to be qualified and have the appropriate PPE on to actually do it. But that's the grip that they actually refer to. Any orange components, by the way, are high voltage components. So you can see the loom there shrouded in orange is the high voltage, the high tension line actually coming out and fed through to the inverter converter assembly up in the front end of the vehicle. So yeah, obviously there's tons of monitoring. The temperature is monitored. There's a smart battery unit that actually controls all the relays and interlocks and actually feeds the power to power control module essentially. Don't have quite all the terminology down yet, guys, but we'll get there. So this is just, as I said, I've got the cushion removed, it's gone back in, but it's a good opportunity to actually see where the battery lives. So this is quite cleverly done. So this is the battery assembly here, guys, the tray, right? And as I said, inside there's also interlock relays and other control components housed within the same box basically, but underneath this removable access hatch or cover. And on top of that cover, there's actually a lock striker, a little plastic orange button you may have noticed during the video. So in order to remove this cover, this has to be removed. In order to remove that, you have to use the service grip plug, the isolation plug for the entire vehicle, let's call it, where when this is removed, as I mentioned in the video, the orange plug, when this is removed, you're physically disconnecting the battery from the rest of the vehicle. So in order to ensure that you've done that, they've used the grip, the service grip plug itself has a little key on the end that has to be inserted and turned in order to remove the lock striker. So I thought that was cleverly done. They're ensuring that when you're inside this panel, you have removed the service grip plug. Clever.